to start with Caitlin Clark because, as we discussed yesterday, she was scheduled to play last night in Atlanta before a sellout crowd inside State Farm Arena, with the least expensive tickets reportedly going for around $300. Insanity. Like I told you previously, she really is, like at this point, the biggest draw in basketball. Bigger than LeBron, bigger than Steph, bigger than KD, bigger than the NBA champion Boston Celtics, bigger than the WNBA champion Las Vegas Aces. She, earlier this season, played in Atlanta for the first time. And the Dream that game had a record crowd of 17,575. Last night, that record fell with a crowd of 17,608. And she now has set attendance records in Atlanta, Minneapolis, Las Vegas, obviously Indianapolis. At Iowa, in her final year of college basketball, every game she played on the road set an attendance record for that building except for 2. So she sets another attendance record last night. And again, I can't emphasize this enough. I know other people can fill up that building and basketball arenas, but nobody's ever put that many in that building for a WNBA game. And I'm telling you,
that's where the Hawks play too, right?
Yes.
State Farm, yeah.
You $300 just to get in, to sit at the top of State Farm Arena. $300.
Pretty wild.
That's what it was going for. You don't have to pay $300 to go see LeBron from the worst seat at State Farm Arena. $300 to get you, maybe not, on the hardwood, but for a regular season game on a Monday night, probably get you into the lower level. For LeBron, for KD, for Steph, for you name it. But not for Caitlin Clark. It cost you $300, roughly, just to get in the door. I've been in that arena for college basketball games, for concerts. We saw Kendrick Lamar there a few years ago, my wife and I. We were literally on the first row of the risers. Did not pay $300 for that. I don't think it was close to $300
This man
for
got
that.
a discount.
Caitlin Clark, if we wanted to go see her last night, we sitting at the top of State Farm Arena for $300 a piece.
Yeah.
So she is something unlike we've ever seen with women's basketball. We've known that for a while. And then the game started, and she tied a WNBA record when she made her 4th three-pointer of the contest, because that doubled as the 85th made three-pointer for her this season. No rookie has ever made more three-pointers in a season, and considering she still has 10 more regular season games to play, she'll obviously own the record outright soon, probably as soon as tomorrow night when the Fever host the Connecticut Sun in Indianapolis. That game will also be on NBA TV. Oh, by the way, the Fever also won last night. 84-79 was the final score. So they're now 14-16 on the season after starting 0-5. Off to a horrible start, but they're 14-11 in their past 25 games, still 14-16 overall. That equates to 7th in the standings, 2.5 games ahead of Chicago. As you know, Bennett, as a longtime follower of the WNBA,
Yep.
the top 8 teams in the WNBA make the playoffs. There's not an East-West. It's just the standings, and the top 8 make the playoffs. Right now, Caitlin Clark projects to be in the WNBA playoffs. Bennett, I know you had the Fever last night. Congratulations. Did you watch any of it? And if you did, what did you think of the scene? Because it was quite a scene. I turned it on.
I did turn.
Before we continue, one thing I did want to mention, he's touching on amazing subjects and facts. But the Fever going 14-16, I believe they are now. That means that they have, look, last year they went 13-27. They have already surpassed their wins from last year. In fact, they haven't had this many wins since 2016. You guys got to understand, the Fever are about to go into the playoffs. The Indiana Fever. And they're going to make a run for it. They could possibly slip into the 6th seed. So we're touching on great facts right here. We're going to keep it going. The game last night, the environment, it's something that if you see it live, it's something that you can't feel if you're there. Me personally, I haven't been to a Fever game. That is something I want to do and definitely am going to do, just because the environment, it's so contagious. And I will pay whatever it costs. And that should tell you something. from a standpoint that you have to pay $300 for nosebleeds to see Caitlin Clark should tell you how impactful she is, how strong of a fan base she has to pay minimum $300 per person to sit at the top of the arena. We have never seen somebody like that in women's sport, and he's absolutely right. So just imagine how much it costs. And I heard it's all the way up to $2,500, $3,000 for floor seats. Crazy.
Turn it on too. I didn't watch a lot of it. I saw our highlights though, but now I kind of last night bounced around a little bit, a little Raw, a little YouTube. Put a movie on. But I flipped it on for a second.
Yeah, it
bounced around.
It was a scene. The game got tight late, but the Fever ultimately are able to hold on and win. And now it does look like Caitlin Clark is going to be in the WNBA playoffs. The Fever, by the way, the reason they were in a position to draft her number 1 overall is because they stunk last season. They went 13-27 last season. That was a winning percentage of .325. Right now, again, 14-16, winning percentage of .467. She's now averaging 18 points a game, a league best 8.2 assists per game, and 5.8 rebounds per game and 35.3 minutes per contest. She's the reigning WNBA Player of the Week. She is having one of the best rookie seasons in WNBA history and one of the best rookie seasons in basketball history. She's not going to be MVP as a rookie, and because of that, you can't really say she's having the best rookie season of all time. Because Candace Parker, did you know this? I don't think I knew this, or I had forgotten it. She was MVP her rookie year in 2008, which is bananas. Trivia time. In the NBA, it's happened twice.
Okay. I don't know.
Wilt Chamberlain, Wes Unseld.
Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten either of those.
I wouldn't have either.
I wouldn't have either.
Come close.
I wouldn't have either. But in the history of the NBA and the WNBA, 3 people have won MVP as a rookie. It's Candace Parker, Wilt Chamberlain, and Wes Unseld. Caitlin Clark is not going to join that group because A'ja Wilson exists, and she is clearly the best women's basketball player in the world and going to be the MVP once again. But Caitlin Clark has gone from big draw and the source of all of the attention, or at least most of the attention this league is getting. She's gone from that to, like, she's legitimately already, as a rookie, one of the best women's basketball players in the world. Yes, there was a learning curve, and I guess there was a wake-up call, but we're past most of that at this point. She, again, is the reigning WNBA Player of the Week. She is the second leading scorer on a playoff team, and only second leading by like 0.2. She was the leading scorer, I believe, this time yesterday. So she'll probably emerge and then finish as the Fever's leading scorer. She's leading the entire league in assists per game and stacking triple doubles, every once in a while. So she's been phenomenal. And I have found myself as somebody who was at first just sort of interested in the Caitlin Clark phenomenon, and then the Angel Reese thing joining it, and she setting rookie records in the league. I was sort of caught up in there's these 2 incredibly popular college figures that elevated that game, and they were somewhat rivals in the sense that they've competed in a Final Four against each other and had the moments with each other.
Yeah.
I do believe the racial component plays a role in all of this. And I was just sort of watching it like, okay, when does Caitlin play again? When does Angel play again? Now I found myself like actually looking at the standings and actually looking at the schedule and actually interested in a possible playoff bracket and what that would look like. Like it has drugged me in more so than I assumed I would be drug in. Like I don't have the bandwidth to follow too much stuff other than what I naturally follow, either because it piques my interest or because I know I need to for my jobs. I'm confident I would love college baseball if I had the bandwidth to follow it. but I don't. So I don't. And it's just something that sort of happens outside of my world. The WNBA has, for the most part, forever been that as well. Yeah, I would turn on a game every once in a while, and I knew Maya Moore was great with Minnesota once upon a time. But you could ask me at any point on any day of any season in the history of the WNBA, and I'm not sure I could have told you who's got the best record, who's got the worst record, how even many teams are going to make the playoffs. But now I know. I know who's got the best record. I know how many teams are in the playoffs. I know where the Fever are sitting. I know where the Sky are sitting. And this is a byproduct of both Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese bringing people to the table and then saying, hey, this is kind of fun. And I really do think the big crowds adds to it. It can be difficult for any league to grab hold of a place in the market when people turn your games on, if they can even find them on TV, it looks like nobody cares. Mm-hmm. That's the biggest struggle with every football league we try to have in the city.
Sure.
You bring them here and we say it's professional football. And it's like, you recognize this guy, he used to coach in the NFL. And you recognize this fella, he used to play in the NFL. And it's professional football. You should care. And we go, okay, maybe we will. Maybe we will. And then you go, okay, there's a game this weekend. I don't know that I'll go, but maybe I'll turn it on. And then you turn it on and nobody's there. And it's like, okay, nobody cares. Why should I care? If nobody cares, why should I care? I think that's a real thing in sports. You look at something, and if it looks like nobody cares, you might not care. And if it looks like, man, this thing's popping, what's going on here? It might make you go, I want to know what's going on here. Well, for decades, you turn on your average WNBA game, and you know what it looks like?
Empty seats,
Nobody cares. That's what it looks like. It looks like nobody cares. And so how do you tell people, or rather, how do you convince people this is important, this is big time, this should matter, you should care about it, if it looks like nobody does? That's for years. That's been a challenge for the WNBA. They say, we've got a good product. You should watch it. You should enjoy it. And then we'd go, okay, we'll try. You turn it on, and you're like, well, it doesn't look like anybody cares about your product. So I don't know why I should care about your product. It's a little bit like going and looking at critics' reviews of television shows and movies. It's like somebody says, you should watch this movie. You should watch this movie. And then you go and look at Rotten Tomatoes, and it's like, well, it's got 30% approval, and it looks like it did terrible at the box office. So nobody went to watch it, and the people who do watch it don't seem to like it that much. Why should I invest my time in it? For decades, that's what the WNBA has struggled with. Now you turn on a WNBA game, at least one that's got Caitlin in it, and it looks like a big deal. I know there were other things happening in sports last night, but there weren't too many arenas filled up in this world yesterday. I guess.
And look, I'm going to stop it right there. He is absolutely right. He is absolutely right. He should be on a bigger platform. He is talking absolute facts. That's why I didn't pause too much, because I'm intrigued on what he's saying. He is a true fan of Caitlin Clark, and he's trying not to, let it be known as straightforward. It is very clear that he is attracted to the Caitlin Clark game, to the WNBA now. And it's not just him. There's a lot of us. We see how exciting it is. We see how it doesn't look like just girls playing basketball. These girls are hooping. Especially the Fever. Like, some of these teams, a lot of these teams, the Liberty, the Suns. I mean, a lot of these girls have talent. It's exciting. When you have the crowd involved and the environment, it's contagious, as I stated earlier. It's more than just women's basketball now. Because back then, people, you watch girls basketball? Now it's like, yeah, you're not watching Caitlin Clark. You're not watching the WNBA. You're not watching Enrique. You don't see Asia Wilson out there. Like, it's competitive basketball. And to me, the girls play harder than the guys. It's competitive out there. These girls are feisty. They're competitive. I love what's going on. They got skill set. They could they could shoot the 3-ball. But when you look at a girl like Caitlin Clark, the way she plays it's not so fancy. It's just playing exciting basketball. And that is fun to watch. And then when you could build your team around you to play that style of basketball, play fast, play fun, play aggressive, play with passion, it's contagious. And he's right. I would have never stopped my gym time to watch a WNBA basketball game. Schedule my gym time around, the Indiana Fever play at what time? What time Chicago Sky play when? I would never go live to watch a WNBA basketball game. I would never text my dad, hey, what are you doing at 7:30? Check out the Atlanta Dream versus the Indiana Fever. Check it out if you're not busy. You'd be like, who's playing? Chelsea Gray, Ryan Howard, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, Caitlin Clark. There's a lot of them going to be playing. Like we have now came to the point where we start to know a lot of these WNBA players. We start to understand how the brackets work for the WNBA. We start to understand, there's only 12, 14 teams in the WNBA. They only have 40 games a year. They're getting 4 more games added to the season next year, and they're getting 2 more teams added to the WNBA. Okay. Like there's so many more things that you could learn about the WNBA. But he's right. It took one person for us to get intrigued, and now we're interested in all of it for the most part. For me, I watch the WNBA more than any sport right now, and I'm just being completely honest. Football season's on the way, but right now, currently, I watch WNBA. I look at WNBA stats. I look at WNBA this. It's an exciting sport that I feel hasn't been completely tapped in when it comes to viewership, popularity, fan base. There's a lot of growth for the W. I mean, I'm talking about growth. We think just because we're in our community and we're so small compared to the NBA and NFL, you know how much growth this league has to come, but they have to take advantage of opportunities. I saw the Dream do a great job of holding a great press conference after the game, after they played Indiana. Very classy, talked highly of Caitlin Clark. You know, the girls were very respectful. And now I'm looking at comments, and they have gained Indiana Fever or Caitlin Clark fans. They literally will state on the comment section, great job, ladies. I will not just be watching you guys when you guys play Caitlin Clark in the Indiana Fever. I will watch you guys and support you guys. It's like, you take advantage of the moments. You got Caitlin Clark coming into your arena, your city, and we're drawing 15 to 20,000 people. You guys got to put on a show. Leave all that trying to hurt people shit or what, like, leave all that out of it. The race thing is unfortunately it's part of it, but we got to leave that stuff out of it. We have to take advantage of the moment. We got to come together. And you know what's hard? It's the women not wanting to have women succeed or be jealous of women. And I don't know why it's like that. Yes, be competitive, play hard. But at the end of the game, everybody shake up, dap up, take pictures. Let's really grow this thing. Let's really take it to another level that it deserves to be at. We're playing catch up. We're behind. The WNBA is behind. The little bit of growth, it's big, but it's nowhere near where it needs to be or where it's going to go. That environment is contagious in the WNBA. And I find myself, I find myself asking people or talking to people or just being so excited about these WNBA games and what's to come. And like, man, I didn't know she could do that. I didn't know she could do that. I know stats. I know, as he's stating, I know how Caitlin's leading. And, there's so many things that are coming from the WNBA. And it took one player for me to get intrigued. One for me. That one player for you could be Angel Reese. That one player for you could be Cameron Brinks. That one player for you could have been Diana Taurasi. But as stated, if you would have asked me about Maya Moore and Diana Taurasi last year, 2 years ago, well, I was doing a lot of sports betting and stuff, but like 3 years ago, I would have been like, shit, I don't know. When's the last time? I would have known Candace Parker. And that's about it right now. So, for me, I mean, no, that's not true. I know a couple of WNBA players, but now I just feel like I'm invested into knowing everything. Like, who's leading the league? What are the stats? What are the playoff brackets looking like as stated? Who's shooting the most percentage? Who's leading in assists? What point guards are looking good? Oh, okay, this girl would fit with this girl. I like her game to fit with that team. I know coaches. When's the last time we talked about a WNBA coach? I know all the, you know what I'm saying? All the W coaches. I understand practice facilities now. I understand how the Connecticut Sun practice and how they share a facility. And so many different things have came from just me being intrigued from one person. We wouldn't have been this excited about the WNBA. I would have never talked this much about the WNBA. I would have been talking about football, college football, NBA, baseball, Yankees. But I'm just excited on where this is going. This is historic. Caitlin Clark, she is a generational type of talent, generational type of person. To be able to draw and bring this many people to the game is unbelievable. And she did it in college. I mean, Caitlin Clark has one of the biggest, like, she is Ronaldo, she is Messi, she is LeBron James, she is Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Kobe, she's the Patrick Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? Like, she is that. She is the Shohei Ohtani, she is that of WNBA. And I hope we got that clear. Angel Reese, yes, she does her part. But that's what her fan base, and it is nowhere near what Caitlin Clark does. It's good, but we need more than just Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. What are you guys going to do in your cities to capitalize on bringing fan base to the WNBA while it's at its hottest peak it's ever been in? That means hiring social media teams, for your cities, for your YouTube, for everything. You guys have to start taking advantage. The Indiana Fever have the highest viewership on social media, more than any professional sports team currently, right now. So, with that being said, man, look, it's your boy C. O'Connor. I appreciate you guys for tapping in, for watching the show, subbing up to Game Day. Make sure you guys sub up. Make sure you guys like. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about the video, and I'm going to catch you guys on the next one. I'm out.